What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. First off, I'd like to apologize for not having a video up last week, but I have a pretty cool reason why I didn't post a video last week. Even though technically there's no excuses, I could have been better prepared and I could have double filmed the week prior so that I could have something ready for this past weekend, but I didn't. I'm sorry. The reason I didn't have a video up last week is because I was working on the set on a short film as a makeup assistant. So I was not only working my normal job most of the week, but I was also doing that for 3 days out of the week. And so basically my schedule all week was 4:30 in the morning until like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. And it was exhausting, but it was a really awesome experience. I'm really glad that I ended up doing it. So that's the reason why I did not have a video up last week. I apologize. When that film comes out, I will let you guys know about it, of course, and you can see some of the actors that I worked on and I worked with. And then of course I had the key makeup artist there. Her name is Alexis Swain, if any of you guys know who she is. She is awesome and she taught me a lot of stuff, and I'm so grateful that she was the person that I got to work with. So besides all that, we can go ahead and get started with this video. We can also excuse my little friend here. It's very out there, but what can you do? Today's video is going to be, as you can see, on some of the Kylie Jenner summer vacation collection that she came out with. And it did take quite a while for my stuff to come. I ended up emailing them because it had been like over 7 business days since I had placed my order and I hadn't gotten any email or anything about it shipping. So I was like, okay, what's going on? Because they were even relaunching stuff on the website and they still hadn't sent out like orders from the first launch. So I was a little concerned just because I have never ordered from Kylie before and this is the first time I've ever tried her products. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how customer service was going to be. I didn't know anything about shipping, but I ended up getting mine finally. Of course, the day after I emailed them, I got a shipping notification and then it appeared at my door. So this is a little bit late because it arrived during the week last week when I was on set. I didn't have time to even play around with it or like look at it or anything. I even had the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette come in and I still haven't played with that either. So I am like dying to dive into these products. I only purchased 2 things from the collection that she launched, and the first thing that I purchased is the Take Me On Vacation palette, which looks like this. I love the packaging. This retailed for I think like $52 or something like that, about the same price as a Naked palette. So this is what it looks like. It's the same thing on the inside. There's no camo print though. And then it says Take Me On Vacation. On the back it says Kylie Jenner Press Powder eyeshadows, and it has the names of each of the eyeshadows on the back, which is good. I like that. And then you open it up and you do get a mirror, and then this is what all these shadows look like. You get a brush, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the brush. Like, I like this brush. I used it to do my eyes today and I think it's a good brush. So you get 16 eyeshadows in here. This one is called Island Girl. It's what I have on my bottom lash line today. And I also put a NYX liquid liner on my waterline. I used this liner. It's funny because I have a video that I posted a year ago for 4th of July using this eyeliner, and then today when I'm filming this is 4th of July and I'm using it again. I don't know if it's expired, but it's the same one. So I just put this on my lash line, and then I took that blue color and I set that liner, and then I buffed everything out with that blue color. That's what's on my lower lash line. And in my crease I have Sea Breeze, which is this neutral color here. I'm gonna insert clips of me applying everything so you guys can see how it applies. And then I have Pina Colada in the crease as well. And then on my lid and also buffed into the crease, I have these 2 pinker shades right here, Starfish and Aloha. So I buffed those into the crease as well to give a little bit more dimension, and I really like how the look turned out. I think it looks really good. I'm really impressed with the formula of these eyeshadows. They are a little bit dry, but I feel like it makes it easier for beginners who are using something like this, because it's going to be easy to buff out any mistakes you make because you need to build the color up a little bit. As much as, yes, you want a very pigmented eyeshadow, it is nice to have something like this every now and then just to be able to build color up or to create a softer look on the eyes when you don't always want something like so intense. So I'm really happy with this. I'm definitely pleased with the purchase. We'll go ahead and do swatches for you guys. The shimmers, I have noticed they show up a lot better if you wet your brush, which for me, I don't really mind. I'm not really mad about it. Most of the time I wet my brush anyways. I think a lot of people's issue is just that they don't want to have to do that. So this is the first shade, called First Class. And then we have Summer 17, which is a shimmer. I have this actually on my inner corners. I wish this one showed up a lot better. As you can see, it's not super pigmented and it stays that way even with a wet brush. So unfortunately, that one's not the best. Then we have Pina Colada, which is the yellow one that I have on my eyelids. So you can see like the matte shades are actually pretty pigmented and they show up really well on the eyelids. Sorry, I have a burn on my hands. The next shade we have is Starfish, I believe. Yes. As you can see, it's a pretty bright color. You wouldn't think that this is the color that you're getting from the pan, or at least that's what I thought. So when I put it on my eyelid, I wasn't expecting it to be as neon sort of as it is, but totally fine. I actually really like it. And then we have the blue color called Island Girl. That's without wetting it or anything. So it is still pretty pigmented, but that was with a finger. If you're using a brush, it does not show up that way, just forewarning. And then we have Sail Away, which is another shimmer. Then the next shade is called Aloha, which is one of the colors that I blended into my crease today. That's what that one looks like. It's a really light pastel color. It's like a peachier sort of color there. And then the last shade in the first row is called Palm Tree, which is a matte brown. Starting with the second row, we have Sea Breeze, which is a nude, perfect like transition color to use in your crease. You can see it right there, hardly, because it's basically like my skin tone. And then we have a more like grayish mauve color, and that one's called Coconut. See, it's more like gray mauve color. It's really pretty. It looks very similar to my burn. And then we have another shimmer color. This is called Paradise, and it's got a more golden undertone to it. It's like more orangey gold undertones. And then the next one in here is called On the Rocks. This is one of my favorite colors. It's like a purple mauve color. So it's similar to the one over here. Actually, not really, not in that swatch. As you can see, it's a lot more purple. This is a lot more gray. But in the pans, they look pretty similar. So that's what those three colors look like. The next one is called Sunset. That one looks like it's almost coppery, but it has like a red tone to it. And then we have a matte shade called Spray Tan, which is similar to the other matte brown in this palette. It's just a little bit lighter. So that's called Suntan. And then we have a purple shimmer called Luxury. I feel like that would be a really good smoky eye with the matte brown colors. Like this on the lid, just like smoked out. And then the last color in here is one of my favorites. I haven't used it yet, but it's one of my favorites. It's called Surfboard. It's like a pewter sort of olivey green color. And oh, I love that color so much. I want to do a look using that color. That's like one of my favorite colors in the palette, besides like all the pastels. It's so pretty. So those are the last four shades in the eyeshadow palette. Like I said, I think that it is pretty good quality. I mean, I think for the price tag, I feel like it's worth it because you get a brush in there also, you get a really big mirror, and you get 16 eyeshadow shades. If you're somebody who's into like really pigmented stuff, like especially glitters, this palette probably won't be the one for you. I feel like this is a lot more beginner friendly, and it's for people who like a more natural eyeshadow look, even though these colors are not very like natural per se, but they're not like so in your face, you know, especially, I mean, besides the blue. But other than that, I feel like it's a really good beginner friendly palette because it's not super pigmented, but it's pigmented enough to give you color deposit on the lid. They're easy to work with. The pigments blend out amazingly. So I feel like this is definitely worth the price tag, and I'm happy I bought it. I'm really happy with the colors in here. As soon as I saw the colors, I was instantly like, I wanted it. So I'm glad I picked that one up, and that was all of the shadows in there. And then the next thing that I picked up was the lip kit. I've never tried her lippies, so her matte liquid lip formula I've never tried, but I've heard that it's pretty drying unless it's gotten better over time. So I don't know, I've never tried them, I can't speak for it. So I decided to get the Velvet liquid lipsticks, and this is the Send Me Nudes palette, or a little thing, and the matte ones look exactly the same. They're in the same packaging, they're the same shades, it's just a different formula. So if you're gonna be ordering one or the other, just make sure you're really paying attention to which one you're grabbing, because these say velvet liquid lipsticks and the other ones I'm sure are going to say matte liquid lipstick. I went ahead and I got the velvet ones because I like something that's a lot more comfortable on the lips. Of course, nobody wants dry, cracking lips, and this formula is actually awesome. I love it. It doesn't move anywhere throughout the day and it stays on for a while. It's a little bit like satiny, like glossy. Like it doesn't dry down completely, but it doesn't move anywhere. And it's super comfortable. So there's 4 shades in here. This is what it looks like when you open it. This is what you get. They're all nudes, of course, hence the send me nudes packaging. I love the packaging on this. I mean, it's nude and the drop marks are just, I just love it. So the first shade we have is called Naked, which is the first one that I tried and I really like this one. So that's what this shade looks like. They smell like vanilla buttercream. They smell so good. And then the next shade we have is called Birthday Suit, is what I have on my lips right now, actually. This one, it's a little bit more brown undertone. This is a little cooler undertone. This is warmer. And then the next shade we have in here is called Babe, which is a lot more pink. Definitely pink right here. And then the last shade we have is called Commando. I haven't worn this one yet, so I don't know what it looks like on the lips, but all the other ones I've worn, that's what that one looks like. So I've worn all these 3. I absolutely love them. I haven't worn this one yet, but I'm sure I'll love it just the same. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a shine to them. They don't dry down completely because that's the formula. It's a velvet finish on the lips. So you can see on my lips, it's not completely matte. They're super comfortable. They smell really good, and overall I'm just really happy with my purchase. If you've tried her matte liquid lipsticks and you didn't like them because they were too drying, I would definitely give these a go because they don't bother my lips at all. They're not drying whatsoever. They don't cake up, they don't crack, they just look good. That's all I have for you guys today. I'm really happy with the purchase that I made. I think I'll definitely be ordering from Kylie some more, but not too much. I know she's like a very controversial brand to buy from, and for the longest time I didn't want to buy anything from her either, but I gave in, and surprisingly I'm happy with what I've gotten. So if you're thinking about it, I would definitely go ahead and do it because it's not going to be around forever, and I know they just restocked the eyeshadow palette. So if it's still available, you should definitely jump on that. There's a lot more stuff that's available in the collection that I did not grab because I'm not made out of money. There are a lot of hits in this collection from what I've seen online with YouTube and Instagram and everything like that. So that's gonna be it for the video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for next week's video because I'm going to be playing around with the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette that just launched. If you guys liked this week's video, give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe so you can see all of my future videos, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!